I'm here, your friend Syrick. Well, I first want to say that I am so very glad to have the opportunity to write to you. Thanks to that beautiful wife of yours, I tell you, Padgett, that she is a wonder, and you should feel yourself a highly favored man to have such a soulmate. Well, I did not comprehend what you meant, and when you told me to pray to the Father, I did so. But somehow I did not understand just how to pray, but now I realize what you mean. And what an awful mistake I made in not trying to learn what you tried to tell me when on Earth. Well, when I arrived in Richmond, I felt a little sick, but had no idea that I was so near death. In fact, death was not in my thoughts, as I had induced myself to believe that I would live to be an old man. And so you can imagine my feelings. After I had been stricken and was unconscious for quite a while, I suddenly recovered my consciousness and found myself looking down on my body all cold and lifeless. I thought it was not my body, but someone else's that resembled me very much and that I was still in my body, but as I tried to make myself known to my friends who had gathered around, I found that they did not hear me or see me. And then I remembered the description that you had read to me of your wife's passing over, and the conviction came to me that I was no longer a mortal, and to further convince me, just then Rose came to me and said, "Frank, I am keeping my promise. You are with your soulmate never again to return to your mortal life and wonder what kind of looking girl your soulmate may be. For now you see her as she really is, and you also feel her arms around you and her kisses upon your cheek. And I know that you would not go into that body again for all the world." Well, to continue, after I had lived in this condition of happiness for some time, and saw that my future depended upon my progress, for you must know I could not go with Rose to her home because she was so much more spiritual than I commenced to examine myself to learn what my drawbacks were, and as I continued to make this self-examination, I found that my life on earth, or rather my recollections or memories of that life, were still with me, and that I must do something to get rid of them, and conscience commenced to work. And I soon saw myself as I had never seen myself while on earth. And the more transparent my actual self became, the more this conscience accused me of things done and omitted while immortal. And with these accusations came sufferings. For she and your wife and my mother all told me the way. But somehow I could not just understand how to find it, and so the days went by and I suffered. But as I continued to pray, for you must understand that I had been praying ever since I commenced to suffer, all of a sudden a feeling of peace came to me, and with it a great love that I had never felt before. And I realized that it was the Father's love that my Rose and the others had been telling me of. And since then, my sufferings have been growing less and less, and my prayers and faith more and more. Oh, how I regret that in my earth life I had not sought this love. How much suffering I would have avoided, and how much more happiness would have been mine. Let me tell you, and my friends, the Colburns and Dr. Stone, that this is no idle tale, but a stern, unavoidable reality, and I, like though unlike Lazarus, arise from the dead and tell you all, with all the emphasis that I can command, that if you want to avoid darkness and suffering and get into happiness when you come over, seek with all your heart this love while you are mortal. So give my love to my friends and keep some for yourself, and believe me when I say, I'm your own true friend and brother, Frank D. Syrick.